Chapter 11, please do not make the mistake thinking that you don't have the option of doing well on this one and you got the project to save you. You don't. You have to do well on both. Excellent. Chapter 11 test is all about manifest destiny and the expansion of slavery through manifest destiny, and also slave empire down the south, expansion of the south.
Are the questions from the quiz going to be on it?
Yes, they are. So,
Is it in recording?
yes, they are recording.
Okay.
They're recording right now. You're recording too, Molly? Yeah, Molly and Catherine are both recording. Okay, so you have those questions that are right from the quiz that you already took. Did I give those back to you or no? Okay, remind me, I'll give those back to you. I didn't put those in because they were horrible, and the whole idea, you were the only one that was good.
I was just. Yeah, you were. For which one? Yeah, you did good.
You're welcome, Miss Faucette.
I was so excited for that to ring out my door.
Wait, I got a good grade on that too, though. The one blast, though.
What did we get?
Not for a quiz grade, it actually would have brought it down because everybody else's quiz, like your quiz grades are usually like 100s.
No.
You're welcome. So make sure that you study those again. Okay, so we're going to go move right along to where that stops. Okay, so let's talk about how how did these elites, these planter elites, keep the smaller farmers, those family farmers and stuff like that from, how do they keep them in line? Okay? Because remember, they all got to vote. There was universal white male suffrage. They did so by taxing luxury items. Slaves were a luxury item, okay? The relationship between the northern economies and the southern economies, the northern economy, okay, outpaces the south because it becomes, it starts to increase, all right? Yes, there were a lot of southern rich people, but that number goes down as time goes by, and the number in the north goes up. The South does not diversify. They keep all of their profits in agriculture, in that plantation economy, because they thought it would go on forever. Now, let's talk about slavery and its impact on African Americans, those who were actually enslaved. They got married, just like they fell in love and got married, like everybody else does. Were those marriages legal? No. What was that custom that we talked about that they followed? So they didn't have, actual marriage certificate, and they didn't go to the courthouse or the church. But what was the custom that they talked about? Remember, they'd lay a broom down?
Oh, yeah.
Jumping the broom, exactly, okay? We also talked about a increasingly homogeneous African American culture in the South. That was due to the domestic slave trade. The domestic slave trade meant that you no longer had regional differences. All African Americans by 1820 were not born in Africa. They were now born in America. All the slaves were born in America at this point. If you worked on a cotton or sugar plantation, you worked in what was called a gang system of labor. If you were on a rice plantation, then it was more of a task system. Sure. Cotton and sugar, those plantations, it was gang. Okay, so you worked in literally in gangs of people, and it was from sun up to sundown. On the rice plantations and even indigo, they had certain seasons and times, and it was a task system. There were times when you could actually leave the crop alone for a while, and then you would have a task to do. Yes, ma'am.
So, cotton and sugar are gang systems because
Yes.
they're like all year round.
All year round, right. And if you're not actually planting or harvesting, then you're clearing another field.
Okay.
Because cotton and sugar are the ones that are so labor intensive. Okay, and rice is too, but you also have periods of time when you've flooded the fields or whatever, and you're just kind of waiting on the rice to do its stuff. So, abolitionists obviously do not have success in abolishing slavery, but they do have success in reducing the violence perpetrated against slave owners against their slaves. And that kind of scrutiny that they put on slave owners also helps with slaves to demand payment sometimes for overwork, or small gardens, or some time off on a Saturday. Those kind of negotiated better treatment, things like that. While resistance was much more common, large-scale rebellions were not. First of all, they were not very successful. They were hard to organize. The plantation economy, that plantation system, you just were so spread out and so separated from other slaves, it was very hard to organize. And also you were outnumbered. The biggest reason, though, was if you ran away, who were you running away from? Your family. You were running away from your relationships. You're running away from those people that your social network. It was much more likely that you would resist by acting sick, breaking tools, acting like you have a broken arm or a hurt foot or something like that. But all of them